All right, let's get serious. Let's get serious. Let's get serious and fall in love. Who was that, Mr. Music Expert?
Oh, I don't know. I thought you were going to go with Olivia Newton-John at first with Let's Get Physical, but you went
No.
serious.
No, don't deflect and conflict from the question I asked you. You're about to reveal that you don't know the answer to something.
Don't tell me how to deflect, but I don't know who that is. Yeah, who was that?
Let's Get Serious. Was that not Jermaine Jackson?
Oh, that's why I don't know, because I don't care about Jermaine Jackson.
He's the one that stayed.
No, he's the one that left.
No, he's the one that left because he married
Berry Gordy's daughter.
Berry Gordy's daughter, and then that whole thing went south. Okay. Anyway.
That's why I think it was, where was it? I think it was like Motown 25 when they did the big thing where Michael Jackson did Thriller, or not Thriller, but when he did Billie Jean and the Moonwalk for the first time. He goes, it was so much fun being with my brothers and Jermaine. You know, like even Jermaine. Like it was always heat.
All right, but anyway, let's get serious.
Yeah.
And go to pay tribute to some of our fallen friends with another edition of Reggie's Corner.
Reggie's Corner. We're here to talk about your good boys and girls. Reggie's Corner. We're so sorry they're dead now.
Oh.
Well, once again, Matt O'Donnell is guilty, responsible, whatever the terminology is, but nevertheless.
I picture someone slaughtering Scooby-Doo when I hear that noise.
You have some strange bedtime fantasies.
I've been hanging out with you.
Anyway, hey, I got an email from Stefan. I believe that's how you would pronounce Stephon. Stefan. Right? Stefan. Hey, Steph, in Cleveland, obviously Ohio, there probably isn't another one. Well, Tennessee. Anyway, unfortunately, his 12-year-old pit bull, Roxy, was diagnosed with cancer in March, and she was running around the yard playing and wagging her cute little tail until July the 9th. He lost her then. She wasn't eating, and her mobility was compromised. But he said, Roxy was my best friend in the world. She always slept in my bed, hogging the covers, leaving me to freeze my ass off. And it would mean the world to me if Roxy could be added to Reggie's Corner. And Roxy has a prominent place, Stefan. We're sorry to hear about that. But she, again, had a happy life with plenty of covers. Fred.
You know any women named Roxy in your life?
The girl wrestler that worked in TNA in the late 2000s was named Roxy.
Oh, I didn't watch TNA in the late 2000s.
I don't know if that was her real name.
The late 2000s.
The late 2000s. They're dead now. We're so sorry they're dead now. Anyway, did I say Fred? Well, Fred, he also goes as Butch, apparently, from Kansas City, and that's in Missouri. I think we're going to pretty much narrow that one down.
Or Kansas.
Well, it's in Missouri as well as Kansas. This happens to be in Missouri. Okay. You're right, and I'm right, too. God damn it. Anyway, don't try to distract from the issue. He and his wife lost Beauregard the Wonder Dog, Beau for short, to cancer. He was almost 5 years old, and that's terrible, a young puppy like that. But they got him at a rough time in their life. His father had health issues, Butch's, not Beau's. And so they've been together ever since. And he had a rough go of it because he was an adopted dog and they had found him and rescued him and everything. But again, we wanted to put Beau in a prominent spot in Reggie's Corner, and Butch, a.k.a. Fred, we're sorry to hear about that. What's the matter with you now?
Butch, a.k.a. Fred. I don't know why I find that funny.
Well, he's identifying himself by a couple of different pronouns or whatever. So, also from Brandon, on July 6th at 4:25, my wife and I said goodbye to our cat, Cody. He was 17 years old and the most loving boy you had ever seen. He was also mischievous and stubborn, and he would be all okay when bedtime rolled around, and he would be waiting for you under the blanket. And he was as old apparently as Brendan and his wife's marriage. They got him at the same time. So sorry to hear about Cody. And then we've got to do a retroactive entry in Reggie's Corner from Kevin from Richmond.
Retroactive?
Yes, because he wanted to recognize the first dog that he ever had, named Max, and he passed away 30 years ago this week. It's an anniversary. His mother, Kevin's mother, that is, rescued him from a Safeway parking lot, and he was like a shepherd collie lab mutt mix, and he loved Big Macs and would steal them whenever he was allowed just one bite. And outside of that, he would only eat Alpo.
Who's giving him bites? Why is he giving him bites of the Big Mac?
His brother is a big old boy. He was giving him bites of the Big Mac, and he would steal the whole Big Mac out of his brother's hand. You've never done that? Just give your puppy just the one bite and they take the whole thing?
I've never given my dog a Big Mac, no.
Just a bite of anything, and they take the whole thing.
No, the thing I'm holding in my hand? No, I don't let go of it.
You know, you both might be sitting on the couch there together, and Fido or Rover or Beauregard or whoever might want a fucking bite of your ham and cheese sandwich. Well, you don't want to get up and go all the way in there and leave the TV just to make Rover his own ham and cheese sandwich. You just give him a bite.
Hey, what do you know about the wrestler Beauregard?
Absolutely nothing. Moving on. Outside of that, the Big Macs, he would only eat Alpo wet food and scowl if you tried anything different. Kevin, we're sorry about Max 30 years ago. Okay, this one.
Well, hold on. Yeah, and it's a retroactive thing from 30 years ago?
Well, it's an anniversary, and it was his first dog. You never forget your first, even if you're just holding its head. But now I've got another email here. We've got to expand our species list for Reggie's Corner. And I got to be honest with you, when I first got this email, I wasn't sure. Well, this is obviously, he's William from Gloucester, England. He's from the UK over there. And they do have a few different words and spellings and things than what we people over here, what invented the English language to begin with, us Americans do. And a lot of people don't think it'd be like it is, but it do. Well, William wrote, a few months back, my late grandfather passed, and I took upon, I thought he meant, I took upon the anus, but I see it's O-N-U-S. It took upon the onus, the responsibility, the burden,
My grandfather died, I took upon the anus.
The anus?
What? We're sorry about Grandpa.
I took upon the onus of providing a new home for the love of his life, Freddie, and then I thought this word at first was budgeter, Freddie the budgeter. But then when I typed it into the interweb machine, hold on, I got to pull that up, I find that it is a budger-iger. A budger-iger, which is, Brian, do you know what a budger-iger is?
I have no idea. I don't even know if you're joking or not.
I'm not joking. If I'm lying, I'm flying and my feet ain't left the ground. A budger-iger, B-U-D-G-E-R-I-G-A-R, is a small and gregarious Australian parakeet that in the wild is green with a yellow head. It is popular as a pet bird and has been bred in a variety of colors. Budger-iger. So, let me clear that off, never to read that again. So, the definition of budger-iger.
Yeah.
So, we're getting back to William's email.
Yeah.
His late grandfather died leaving Freddie the budger-iger at loose ends.
But he had an anus.
And he took upon the anus and the rest of him, providing a new home because Freddie was the love of his grandfather's life. Now, we don't know to this day if he was male or female, but that's beside the point. I gave him a good home and allowed him to fly free on appointed occasions. A couple weeks back, I made the foolish decision to take a vacation and asked my Aunt Sally to look after him. I ensured arrangements were made that he could maintain his routine of free flight time. 3 days into my vacation, I had a call from Aunt Sal. I was aware it was unlikely good news, as I didn't foresee her calling me for anything else. She broke the news that whilst cleaning Freddie's cage, he had flown out an open window. Whilst I was pleased attempts were made to maintain his home, I was slightly angered by the event that had evidently occurred. I, of course, tried to enjoy my last couple of days of vacation before I made haste on returning to search for Freddie. So, boy, he was so broke up he left after only 2 days. The days on the beach wasn't the same, watching the seagulls, being reminded where Freddie could be. I uploaded notifications on social media, which was shared by lots of good Samaritans. However, alas, I had no news. Although it was clear Freddie, the Budgeriger, had touched hearts. To compound the issue,
Freddie's dead.
Do. That's what I said. Freddie had also recently lost his beloved Budgeriger long-term partner, Belinda. So I can only assume he, and now we've established that we're not positive of the gender, so this could have been a lesbian relationship.
Belinda could have been a man. He seems like this guy doesn't know anything about what's going on with this animal.
Well, there you go. You don't know who's pitching and who's catching.
A man. I guess not a man. It wouldn't be a man bird.
It would be a
male bird.
There's a good thing.
That bird is a man.
There's a group of birds and a man. God damn you.
Come on, this is serious. We're supposed to be serious. Let's get serious.
We're talking about a missing bird here. Would you stop? So he had recently lost his beloved Budgeriger long-term partner, Belinda. Belinda Carlisle, I assume. So I can only assume he may have been in a bad place. So now it could have been possible he just flew out to end it all. Upon reflection, it was selfish of me to leave Freddie alone. Well, you think, William? I then had the neighbor a couple doors down knock on my door. I could tell by her face good news seemed again unlikely. I was made aware of a specimen loosely resembling Freddie's description in her garden. I went to see, and although a devoured carcass, I knew Freddie when I saw him. She offered to dispose of him, presumably in the garbage, which was no appropriate end for my Fred. I took him out and buried him in the bottom of the garden within the confine of a recently finished box of upmarket chocolates. Not all stories have an unhappy end, however. I have now purchased a new pair of Budgerigers, P.S. Hayes and Jimmy, after the free birds who Freddie so apparently wished to live his life like. I would have more of the beautiful creatures to complete the group. However, I'm not working a menagerie here. Thank you, and God bless, William from Gloucester.
Not Michael and Terry, or Michael and Buddy, Michael and Jimmy.
Yeah, P.S. Hayes and Jimmy. Yeah. William of Gloucester. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes for this week another edition, bless them all, of Reggie's Corner.
This has been Reggie's Corner. Goodbye to our friends on the other side. On the next Reggie's Corner, we'll talk about a bunch more pets who died.
Well, there it is, the gong that signifies the end of the untasteful part of the program. Now we get to the toxicity.
Oh, I think it's only beginning. But we want to once again thank Richard Cheese has nothing there on Matt.